So hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing just a push workout, a chest workout at home, another one just to update you on how I'm training, how I'm doing it. So I thought you could follow along with me in this workout. I'll just sort of explain what I'm doing. Hopefully you guys can take some ideas. You can follow along if you want, you don't have to follow along, but I'm just going to do a few sets and reps of what I feel like doing today is my plan, and hopefully you guys can take some more exercises and inspiration from this video. So just warming up with some resistance band flies, just get the chest activated before I start the workout, because when I start warming up and activating my chest I feel like I can hit all the contractions so much harder. So if you guys don't warm up at all, warm up, because there aren't only the prevention of injury benefits but the benefits of actually getting a better workout with my muscle connection. As you see, just warmed up with the band flies, simulating cable flies at the gym. So now I'm going to move on to some incline chest activation, so decline press ups, simulating our incline bench press.
Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard, and I wonder where you are.
So I'm pairing the decline press up now with some lateral raises with the band, hit the shoulder, the lateral delt. With the decline press up, the steeper your decline, the more chest and shoulder activation you're going to get, well, upper pec. So at that sort of 45-degree gradient, it's kind of optimal to hit that upper chest. But if you guys want to do more shoulders, you could do handstand press ups on a wall. So if you go even more into a decline, you hit more shoulders. But that 45-degree angle is optimal for getting your pectoral minor, your upper pec. If it's too hard for you, the flatter you go, the more you're sacrificing of getting your pectoral minor hit, because you get closer and closer to a normal push-up. So we're going to start the lateral raise now with a resistance band, or if you're lucky enough at home to be doing it with dumbbells. So let's start. Also, another tip, guys, the reason why I've still got my hoodie on is because I'm not warm. It's quite a cold day today. When I start actually feeling like I'm heating up and I'm warm, my muscles are feeling ready to go and they're getting loose, is when I start to feel like I can start taking this off and pushing heavier loads. But yeah, I recommend always keeping warm, part of the warm up. So let's carry on with this. Going back into decline press up. So in this video I'm going to give you guys lots of tips on the push workout. So with that decline press up that I just did, make sure that you're keeping your shoulders back and your scapula retracted, which literally means trying to keep all your shoulders behind your chest, so your chest is initiating the movement. And instead of thinking of like a push up, think of a squeeze up. So you've got your shoulders back and you're sort of squeezing up with the chest on the way up with your shoulders back, and you just squeeze up. That also applies to a bench press if you're trying to hit your chest and not a PB. If you're trying to hit your chest on a bench press or press up, anything to do with your chest movement is always thinking, trying to get your biceps together as a squeeze up with your shoulders and scapula retracted.
We're dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. You search but you stay lost.
You can probably see it more clearly now with that hoodie on, how I'm trying to keep my shoulders back and scapula back and squeezing my biceps together and activating my chest. Trying to really think of pushing with my chest. It takes a lot of practice to get that mind muscle connection to sort of join up the two of pushing with your chest after you've always been pushing with your shoulders and triceps for years. I'd recommend just being patient with learning how to push with your chest. I'm still not there. I'm still taking time to get there. but it's definitely improving every single session. And the more I think about every contraction pushing with my chest, because for years, well, about a year, 2 years of my training, I haven't been pushing with my chest because I haven't made that mind muscle connection, but I'm slowly getting there. So it's not just you guys, it's me as well, who hasn't made that connection yet because it takes a lot of practice. Also, I've got a tip now for the lateral raise. So when you're in the lateral raise, you've got to try and think that you're dragging, sort of, I like to think I'm dragging a sandbag with my wrists. So you lead the way with the wrists. So your wrists are leading the movement, not your elbows. So when you're thinking of pulling up, pull up with your wrists rather than pulling up with your elbows. And your wrists at the top should come slightly higher.
You always show 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow.
And try and keep your thumb closer to the sky than your pinky. Only slightly, as that avoids shoulder impingement. So I'm thinking of dragging up. Try not to use my traps. Try to deactivate your traps and just use that shoulder. I'm really trying to deactivate my traps because your traps will naturally want to do a lot of the work. So by just trying to lead with the wrist, keep my thumb above my pinky and lead with the shoulder head. So it's like a dragging motion, but trying to prevent injury at the same time. So another tip on helping to increase your muscle mass and get that extra variation into your workout is you need to get a stretch onto your muscles. So shoulders aren't particularly a muscle that people think of when they need to stretch. When you're doing chest press and flies, a lot of people do think of stretching their chest out and contracting it. And you need to do the same for all your muscles every now and then to keep the variation up and keeping yourself progressively overloading in that stress position when you come in and contract. So with the shoulders, what you can do for this is if you cross the bands over here, you're going to get more stretch at the bottom as your shoulders pulled across, rather than just flat where your shoulder, isn't pulled across. So if you cross the bands over, at the bottom of the rep you can see your shoulders are naturally stretched out, stretching the muscle at the bottom. So this is another tip to help improve your shoulder training. And then you just do a fly as you were before, but with cross bands, getting that extra stretch at the bottom. Same form as before. The last rep I like to hold every now and then, just to get that extra bit of burn. Ooh. So finished with that superset now, we're gonna go onto some flat press ups and some shoulder press with the resistance band. If you don't have a resistance band, you can lean up on a wall and do some handstand press ups. I'll quickly show you those if you don't have a resistance band. If they're too hard, which they will be for pretty much everyone, as they are for me, to do many reps and sets, you should do a really high decline press up, or on the floor for a decline press up. You can go like this and just really hit the decline. If you go straighter, if you can do that and go even harder, I do recommend doing the handstand press up, which I'll show you now. So I'm moving on to press ups now. Same applies as the decline press ups. You're just trying to squeeze your chest in with your biceps. Well, think your biceps touching, keeping your shoulders back, really trying to push with the chest. So there we have the first part of the superset with press ups. Now we're going into shoulder press. So make sure your shoulders are warmed up at this point. They probably are from the decline press up, but if not, try to warming them up with a lighter set of resistance bands or doing one of the easier exercise variations that I said. So here I'm going to start with the easier band for my first set, just to make sure my shoulders are warmed up. Clean it up like it's a barbell or dumbbells. I like to bring my elbows slightly in front of my side, otherwise you get injured again, as in it's not as good for your shoulder. You're going to get more front activation here. You're not going to be able to lift as heavy here, but it prevents injury. So look, what I'm trying to show you is I push back here, rather than a lot of people will be in the gym with dumbbells here. You can lift heavier in this position, but it's not as healthy. So I like to come here, drop the weight down, and push up. And trying to really feel the contraction. Try and keep your wrist and your elbow in line. Moving on to the thicker band now, feeling warmed up in the shoulders. Exact same again, just going to press it up. Just cleaning it up, keeping the elbows in front of the shoulders, wrists in line, and we're just going to press it up. Trying to think about pushing with that front delt. Try and make the front delt do all the work. So I thought I'd just quickly talk about how many reps you're going to do in a home workout. Reps and sets and volume and intensity at home, because there's a lot of confusion with what to do. Firstly, anything is better than nothing, so don't let that hold you back from training. But I tend to do mainly 3 sets of everything, or 3 supersets. So 3 sets of your main exercises. Occasionally I do 4 sets of one exercise, but normally it's 3. For reps, I go 12 plus, usually 12 to 18-ish, depending on how much I'm going to failure. But at home, you just sort of need to train harder than last time. Just in your last home workout, think about how hard you train. Just try and up it a notch. Every single time, even half a notch, just upping the intensity of your workout and trying to go harder each time, only slightly so you don't kill yourself. But during this home workout period and in the gym, you always need to be pushing yourself harder than last time. And from there, you can get your benchmark of how many reps and sets. But if you have no clue, at least 3 sets of everything, minimum 8 reps. Hopefully a bit higher, 9, 10, 11, 12. But just do anything rather than nothing. Also, you guys are probably wondering how long is my workout at home. Try and keep it from anywhere from 45 minutes to under an hour. I'm pretty similar with the gym as well, under an hour, 45 minutes plus, just to make sure that my intensity is there and I'm not overdoing the volume, because a lot of people will spend 2 hours in the gym and they will have no intensity. So you want to make sure you are actually training hard and upping your intensity. So now I'm going to get onto a tricep exercise. So I'm going to do skull crushes. So I'm going to do skull crushes with the resistance band. I'm going to do narrow triangle press ups, hitting the triceps now because I've done quite a lot of shoulders and chest. I like to finish off with a little bit of more tricep focused, but you are still involving your other muscles for your pushing. So you can do that exercise sitting or standing. Just showing you the sitting variation. I'm going to do it from standing from now on, because I find it easier to stand on the cable, on the band, and push up. So the aim here is try and keep your elbows still and more narrowed than out. So as narrow as possible, we're able to do the exercise in a comfortable position. But just trying to keep those elbows still and hitting those tricep heads by using your triceps to push up with the whole movement. Think of them like a piston. You've got the band, you're going to use them as a piston to try and push the band out above your head. So let's get into the standing ones. Also, a thing to note is when you're standing with the resistance band, it's going to increase resistance as the tension is going further, it's higher, it's being stretched more, so there's going to be more tension. So bear that in mind. If you can't do it with your lightest band or your lightest resistance cable, you've got to just sit down and do it. But if you've got dumbbells, do it with that. If you haven't got dumbbells or a resistance band, you guys should do some narrow press ups, which we're going to get onto, or some bench dips, which are like this. If you don't have the resistance band, just incorporate another tricep exercise. And if you can't do any of those, go watch my home push workout video from earlier, where you can see how to do the exercise, where you can see how to do exercises for your triceps. So I'm keeping my elbows narrow, I'm just standing on the band, pushing up my triceps.
The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done.
It's about to rain now. I'm going to quickly get into the triangle narrow press ups. So you're making your hand into a triangle or as close together as you can. Same applies, shoulders back, scapula back, pushing with your chest and triceps. But it's going to be a more tricep focused one than just chest. Let's start this one now. So I've got my hands narrow, scapula back, pushing with the triceps. Strong core, push.
I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick
Definitely hits the triceps.
the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see.
So I'm going to wrap this up now, guys, because it's also raining. I've just finished. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, stay tuned for more. Bell button for my regular uploads. Thanks guys for watching. See you in the next one.